Hello, everybody. It's Colleen Watson again from Century Plant Publishing. Thank you for coming back to the Blooming Journal Live. This is our fourth episode. I can't believe we're already almost at a week's time. As you know, I take the weekend off, so tomorrow will be the last one for the week. But oh my gosh, episode four, we almost got the first week down. And so this is the week of getting to know Colleen a little bit. And so we're going to actually take you through the journey of my why. As we all know, that starting with why is hugely important. It helps you make decisions. It helps eliminate getting what I call lost in the slosh, where you're churning, you don't quite know what you're going, you don't quite know what you're doing. And I was there for quite some time before I figured this out. So I thought I would, take you on the journey to how I figured out that this creative business writing was my thing and what my why actually is. So um, go back 2020. We're in the middle of the pandemic. I am not working. I have all kinds of time, as many of you did. And I sat there and, facing what I faced, and I was just like, I've always wanted to write. I've always wanted to be a writer. And I've written, I have novels, and, that's another life that I wrote during my time as a librarian as an outlet, as a thing to do, not at work. And it was very important. I needed that creative outlet, but I really, really wanted to make writing my job. There is something called a shadow career. And I really feel now that librarianship was my shadow career to writing because I really felt like that was the closest I could get. But, you're stuck at home, you're in a pandemic. How do I make my living writing? And so that was my dilemma. And I considered all kinds of things. I considered doing fiction writing and really trying the route of short story contests and things like that. And I'm not a person who does short stories very well. I am a novelist by trade. And yes, I could, go through the whole process was trying to do that. But in the middle of the pandemic, it was hard. It was, hard to concentrate. The uncertainty, made it my books seem ridiculous. I wanted something, permanent outside of this. I didn't want to have to go back to work. So I'm doing all of this in my mind, and I look at a couple of things. I looked at being a writer of columns, and start pitching to magazines and things like that. And I did that for a while, but my heart really wasn't into it. And I only got one thing, and it was about librarianship, which is what I love anyway. And then I started thinking about white papers, thinking like I'm a former librarian. I can research anything. I can do a white paper work. And that, in the middle of a pandemic, who's going to spend that money? And frankly, my heart wasn't in any of those things. And I told you the story about how I did the, that presentation, and it was just like, and so that's how I settled on my product. But that wasn't my why. I mean, I love those products, but until I really got clear on my why, you didn't see me here showing up every day, being honest about who I am and what I do. And it took a while. I mean, it took me literally, I was in business for a year throwing spaghetti at the wall. And then I've been in business for about 18 months doing what I really want to do. And that's still a, ever loving thing that I'm pivoting on it feels like a daily basis because I'm getting just clearer and clearer and clearer on what my thing is. But here is my why. Here is the thing that makes me show up every day, makes me want to come and do this with you every day is confidence. I want you to feel confident in your online presence. And it's really hard to do that when, once again, we go back to yesterday, the cringe. Oh, I looked at your website, and your reaction is not, yay, it's, it's all under construction. And trust me, I'm guilty as anybody. Mine is still under construction, but I feel confident in what I've said on that website. I feel confident that it reflects who I am. I feel confident that everything I've said is in my authentic voice. And I think many of us don't feel confident, particularly if you're a small business owner. Like you have too many plates spinning in the air and you got, your website up and somebody did it and like it's done. Woohoo! And it's really hard to feel confident about it when you haven't really taken the time to really think about how you want to show up online. So that's what I do. I help you find the words so that you feel confident in what you do. That's my why. That's why I do what I do. That's why I settled on the products that I settled on. If you want to talk about anything, please get on my calendar. I do a free 30-minute um, anything session so we can talk about anything marketing that you want and including your why if that's what you want. And then of course you can go to Century Plant Publishing for my freebies, um, my two things that I did to help you show up better. But that is what we have for today. I hope that this helped you understand why I do what I do a little bit better. And remember, rock stars, it's never too late to bloom. We'll see you tomorrow.